We still out here. Hey, well, you did. Hey, we on tape, man. Y'all don't want to sign too grimy. Y'all want to sign too grimy. Look at these two dudes, Huey and Nipsey Hussle.
Since the tragic murder of Big U's son, Jabari Henley, on Halloween, Los Angeles has been stuck in a storm that just won't calm down. Emotions are raw, the streets are tense, and now a shocking twist has poured gasoline on old rumors and bitter history. Nipsey Hussle's affiliates, the ones who believe Big U had something to do with their homie's death, allegedly leaked footage showing Big U's final public moments with his son before everything fell apart. The clip itself ain't new, but the timing, explosive. The streets grabbed it, flipped it, and treated it like fresh evidence in a case that never truly closed. This wasn't just any random video. It was an Instagram live resurfacing in late October 2025. Grainy, raw, and full of symbolism the streets couldn't ignore. It showed three figures posted on Crenshaw back when unity felt possible. Eugene Big U Henley, the late Nipsey Hussle, and Big U's son Jabari Baby Wee Henley, just cooling on the block like things were simple again. What should have been a bittersweet memory turned into the match that lit a powder keg of old pain and new anger. Folks started reading between the lines, reinterpreting smiles and small talk like they were clues to a mystery, not just moments from better days. The clip is under a minute, but it hits heavy. A slice of hood life before federal indictments, funerals, and fractured bonds changed everything.
They killed Nip too. Let's not forget, homie. They killed Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was not a lone actor in that. If you go back and follow the details, Nip and Big U got into it. Big U hit Nip Daddy across the head with a bat. His brother had to come out and shoot the gun.
You hear Big U talking with that proud tone, a mentor and a father, watching two paths he helped shape run side by side in the same streets that made them and might have destroyed them. But that one video didn't go viral in a vacuum. It landed right in the middle of an already dangerous moment in LA street politics. The city was tense, the narratives were messy, and respect felt like it was being measured in blood and hashtags. To understand why a throwback could trigger so much venom, you gotta know who these three were and the empire they were trying to build before everything went left. This wasn't just music, this was community, power, and identity wrapped up in one fragile alliance. Once people started connecting it to present-day drama, the footage stopped being a memory and became a weapon, a symbol used by different sides to push whatever story fit their hurt. And that's how something innocent turned into a spark for more chaos. The streets started whispering, the timelines lit up, and pain got packaged into narrative. And from there, the story stopped being about a video and became about legacy, loyalty, and a city that keeps reliving the same tragedies with new names. Nipsey Hussle, government name Ermias Joseph Asghedom, was way more than a Grammy-nominated rapper. He was a blueprint builder with a plan bigger than Crenshaw. He saw past the block and tried to flip the whole economy, showing the hood how to own, build, and pass down real power. By 2018, Victory Lap hit number 4 on Billboard, moving strong numbers out the gate. But the stats ain't what made him legendary. It was the Marathon clothing store he owned, that Vector 90 space for the youth, and the way he bought up his own block to keep black money in black hands. On the other side stood Eugene Big U Henley, a figure who moved through South LA with weight and contradictions. A known Rolling 60s affiliate who served time for attempted murder. He came home in 2004 saying he was on redemption, founding the Community Intervention Alliance in 2005 to mediate street beefs and push peace. In 2009, Nipsey signed a 10-year management deal with Big U's unique music. And that alliance helped shape the next wave of West Coast hustle. Big U pushed independence, self-ownership, and no chains from major labels if it meant losing control, a philosophy that became Nipsey's whole movement. And then there was Jabari Baby Wee Henley, Big U's son, born March 15, 1991, caught between a name that carried weight and a personal life that stayed quiet. He wasn't trying to be a street figure or a superstar. He worked as a warehouse supervisor, dropped music occasionally, and focused on raising his 10-year-old daughter right. People close to him said he stayed out the way, despite being born into a world where your last name can paint a target on your back. He wasn't out there stunting. He wasn't campaigning for clout. He was trying to live, work, and keep peace around his family. That's what made the resurfaced footage sting. It showed promise, history, and connection right before everything shattered. Folks looked at that clip and saw ghosts, not just of Nipsey, but of hope, trust, and a future that never got to mature. By early 2025, tensions were already boiling. And when narratives collide with grief, even innocent images get twisted into something heavier. People weren't just arguing in comments. They were reliving years of whispers, anger, and assumptions dressed up as facts. That video wasn't proof of anything, but it stirred every rumor back up like the beef never died. Memory got mixed with blame, and the streets did what they always do when pain don't have a home. They turned it into a story with heroes and villains. Through it all, one thing stayed true. 3 lives tried to build something bigger than rap, and the city watched it rise, fracture, and echo through time in ways nobody could control. By March 2025, things went from tense to explosive when Big U got hit with a sweeping federal RICO indictment.
Y'all want to sign too, Grimy? Look at these 2 dudes, Huey and Nipsey Hussle. On the block.
43 counts that painted a dark picture of his operation, according to prosecutors. The charges ranged from conspiracy to commit murder for hire to extortion, human trafficking allegations, and bank fraud tied to COVID relief loans, all of which he was fighting in court. He was being held without bail at MDC Los Angeles, facing a potential life sentence, with his trial slated for May 2026. And to make it worse, his attorney reportedly withdrew in September 2025, leaving him to represent himself against the government's full pressure. That alone had the city buzzing with speculation and fear. But in the streets, the RICO case wasn't even the loudest problem for Big U's name. It was the shadow cast since Nipsey's murder in 2019. Despite Eric Holder Jr. being convicted in 2022 and sentenced to 60 years to life, conspiracy theories swirled online about Big U's supposed involvement, even though no court ever tied him to the crime. Some content creators and former associates made allegations over the years, including claims of cryptic phone calls and behind-the-scenes pressure. But none of it was backed by trial evidence, phone records, or official findings. Still, rumors move fast when they fit the pain people carry. And once the internet locks in, it's hard to reset the narrative. A clip of Big U reacting on an Instagram live when someone said justice for Nip got replayed endlessly with captions that framed it like disrespect. Whether it was a nervous laugh, misunderstood, or just taken out of context.
Live, okay, but and they said justice for Nip. Wait.
Yeah, yeah.
And what did he do? He started laughing.
Justice for Nip.
It became proof to people who already believed he was guilty, no matter the facts. Whack 100, a former manager connected to Nipsey's world, slammed Big U publicly with accusations about cooperating with feds in a 2018 probe and indirectly putting Nipsey in danger. Allegations that sparked heavy debate but were never proven in court. Others like Charleston White added more gasoline with talk of family disputes and money, turning grief into content that spread fast. All of this turned the city into a pressure cooker, a space where theories replaced facts, and every move got judged by narratives built years ago. The resurfaced footage of Big U, Nipsey, and Jabari didn't calm anything. It made everything louder. People treated it like a confession tape instead of a casual moment from the past. This is how digital culture twists reality. A throwback becomes a trigger, and complicated lives get turned into simple stories told by people who were never there. Once the rumor train gets rolling, it doesn't stop for nuance. On Halloween night at around 11:11 p.m., the quiet life Jabari was trying to lead collided with the chaos he never asked for. He pulled up to a small smoke shop at South Figueroa and West 69th, a corner known to locals, a spot like 1,000 others where people buy snacks, talk quick, and keep it moving. Eyewitnesses, 2 civilians leaving the shop and a nearby food truck vendor, said a dark sedan rolled up smooth, like it had a purpose. Jabari walked to the passenger window and chopped it up for about 10 to 15 seconds. Just casual street talk like you see every day in South LA. Then it broke bad, fast and final. Shots rang out from inside the car, what investigators later connected to a 9mm or .40 caliber handgun based on casings at the scene. Jabari was struck multiple times, including the torso and arm, and collapsed near the entrance while the car sped off into the grid of side streets. LAFD paramedics arrived within minutes and worked on him at the scene, fighting hard to bring him back, but the wounds were too severe and the blood loss was too heavy.
Yu's son has been taken out.
At 11:28 p.m., Jabari, Baby Wee Henley, was pronounced dead. Another young father gone in a city that's seen too much of this pain. The coroner later confirmed death by multiple gunshot wounds with no alcohol or controlled substances found in his system in preliminary tox results. He wasn't high. He wasn't reckless. He was a man with a job and a daughter, caught by violence tied more to his last name than his actions. The case was ruled a homicide, with LAPD South Bureau detectives taking lead and canvassing the area for cameras. They pulled footage from nearby businesses, including a Chevron across the street that may have caught the car or shooter profile, while ballistics analysis moved forward to see if the weapon matched other crimes. Miles away, locked up inside MDC on his federal case, Big U learned about his son's death in the middle of the night, according to a co-defendant who spoke to media. The description of his reaction was heartbreaking. Shock, tears, and the words no parent ever wants to say, "Not my boy, not like this." That's a pain most people can't imagine. A father hearing his son is gone and being unable to leave a cell to hold his family, make calls in the streets, or put pressure on anyone to find answers. No matter what you think about his name, that's a nightmare no human deserves. Within 90 minutes of the first scanner alerts hitting social media, the tragedy became fuel for the worst side of the internet. Quick takes, conspiracy threads, and people celebrating a murder like it was karma. The hashtag started trending, the clips started moving, and nuance got left behind. X, formerly Twitter, saw thousands of posts by sunrise with Nipsey karma popping up in captions that tried to turn Jabari's death into some kind of cosmic balance. That's not justice. That's cruelty dressed up as street logic. And it spreads because it's loud. TikTok flooded with shaky videos from windows and sidewalks showing paramedics working on Jabari, posted by anonymous accounts chasing views. By noon the next day, those clips racked up millions of plays, not because they helped the case, but because shock sells in the algorithm. Instagram fan pages honoring Nipsey got caught in the crossfire, mixing mourning with captions that blurred the line between tribute and taunting. Some posts tried to keep it respectful, but plenty of comments treated a 34-year-old father's death like entertainment, not a loss. People who never met Jabari spoke like judges, saying he deserved it because of his father's reputation, or pushing theories that had no evidence behind them. That's how mob logic works online. It punishes bloodlines and ignores facts, turning grief into content for strangers to argue over. One post said, retaliation for Big U's alleged Nipsey setup, even though Big U was never charged in Nipsey's case and there's no public evidence tying him to that murder. Another called LA trash for letting Big U walk like court records and a real conviction in 2022 didn't exist. Out of thousands of posts, only a fraction showed humanity. Condolences, calls for respect, reminders that a child just lost her father. Most of the noise was rage recycling, old narratives dressed up as fresh truth. Some voices from the culture tried to calm it down. People close to Nipsey reminded the world what he stood for: peace, progress, and breaking cycles. Black Sam spoke out through the label saying, "Pain multiplies pain, honor Nip with peace, not this." That message was heavy and necessary. Platforms reacted, but late and uneven. Some accounts got suspended for doxing, posting addresses and family info, which is beyond foul. Some videos were demonetized, but still up. Warnings were added, but the views kept climbing. As of early November 2025, no arrests had been made, and LAPD said the case was active, with detectives processing surveillance, running ballistics, and sifting through tips for anything solid. The problem? The internet made everything harder and louder at the same time. Crime Stoppers got flooded with calls, some helpful, many just rumor recycling. Detectives had to separate truth from narrative, which takes time when thousands of people are convinced their theory is fact. The city felt ready to boil over, and everyone knew a bad move could spark something worse. The broader timing didn't help. LA was already tense with recent cases, old grudges, and a community tired of losing sons while getting lectured about patience. Every tragedy reopens old wounds, and every rumor keeps them from closing. Meanwhile, sources said Big U kept quiet publicly because of jail rules and gag orders, reportedly spending time in prayer and requesting scripture while trying to process the unthinkable. Whether you love him, hate him, or don't know him, a father losing a son is pain that deserves respect. What matters now is simple: justice through facts, not internet heat. A child lost her dad, a family lost their heart, and a city lost another piece of its future. This isn't a scoreboard for beef. It's a cautionary tale about how fast we turn pain into posts. If you've got real information, let investigators do their job and bring accountability the right way. If you're just watching from the sidelines, show some compassion, because how we talk about the dead says a lot about the living. We'll keep covering this story with care and truth as it develops, and we'll call out anything reckless that puts families in more danger or spreads harm disguised as street code. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Keep it respectful for the family. Hit like if you value real reporting over rumor, and subscribe to stay locked in as we follow the case with facts and heart.